So what I like to do is keep the momentum that I build in the stuff that I do. So by doing workouts every day, doing workouts 6 times a week, and then on the 7th day I do yoga. I do it for the same amount of time that I do the other workouts. The reason for that is because it keeps that slot of time in consistent arrangement, that it means that there's no loss of momentum, there's no questioning for what I'm going to do at that time or that period, because people forget one day makes a big difference. I remember going way back, I'd take a day off here and there, no real awareness of when it was, where it was. Before you know it, you're taking 3 days off a week when you took 1 day off. Before you know it, you don't know what you did yesterday, you don't know what you're doing tomorrow. That's where anything can happen. If you really want to get in that consistent, and I mean you are in a determined mode of result making, it has to be all the time. Now you can rest as much as you want. The amount of times I've went without rest, people limit so much what a human can do. Now, if a fucking tree out here falls on me, it's going to hurt. But that doesn't mean that you go about being afraid or you go about doing nothing. It means that you make calculated risks, you make good decisions. I've already shared, I went long periods without sleep. Worst decision ever. Good decision to test how much you really have, is something to refer back to, but not good for long-term health. So you just adapt and you re-strategize with that. But for me, 2 days without sleep is fine. Now, do I do that often? No, because you've got to make full utilization of your brain power. And the longer you go without sleep, the longer you go exerting yourself and pushing yourself, the more the body needs to recover. So I still make sure I get the recovery in. But I'm sharing with you as best as I can, so you can be like, whenever other people are saying, no, we can't do that, we can't push that hard. Even if you want to go, for example, on a night out, if you choose not to drink alcohol, you choose just to drink water, but you want to have the best night ever, you can go out and come back and sleep for 2 hours. But you have to put in the right stuff. You have to think the right stuff. You have to put in the daily habits, efforts and disciplines that create a power. That means that you hop out of bed immediately, that you confront problems, that you go get what you want. People go out every night of the week and they talk about the girl. They say like, oh, her, whatever. I don't even like to quote what people say. It's just stupid, weak stuff. You go straight to what you want, you go get it. Now, people can study and do all this different stuff and say there's a better way. By the 5th girl, she's coming home, and you can say whatever you like. I really don't give a fuck. I'm not telling you how to do it so you feel good and you feel safe. I grow, I get out of my comfort zone. I do stuff that people would not normally do, but I do it because I'm willing to push outside my comfort zone. I'm willing to just keep going. So at the times where I went without sleep, I just kept fucking going. I just went, you know what, if something happens, at least I know what happens rather having to ask someone else. And I think that's a good way to go about life. Just go try shit, go do something different. Go do something that's never been done before so you can look back on it. Fuck sharing it with anyone else. I'm more than happy to share, but if you don't, believe me, this is small stuff. This means nothing. But what it means to you, yourself, when you look back, it's the life well lived. It's the stuff that people all go for, talk about and want. But if you do it all the time, you create the life you want. You create the stuff you want. Why do I share it? I just share it because I hope people get that feeling. Because people act like other people have got some kind of advantage over them. That's not true, and that's not ever going to get you what you want. What will get you what you want is you doing it and utilising what you have, your qualities, your abilities. I don't care, I've said before, you take a tiny guy who's skinny and is supposedly weak, you train. If I'm that individual, if I train the way I currently train, I will no longer be that guy. I will have so many abilities, so much strength, so much power, because you put in the effort to build yourself. Change yourself physically, change yourself mentally, and you change who you are. That's what we're composed of, the physical and the mental. So if you change the two, then you become something different. That's why we see people who were soft and scared, and you don't need to know anything about them, you don't need to ask them any questions, and then they pop up again and you see them and you start talking to them and you feel a little bit different. The reason is because they changed who they were. You don't need to ask questions. You don't need to guess. You can tell who someone is, who they really are. Because when I turn the camera off, what I do at the time the camera is off is who I am. Because if I show up here and I talk about stuff but I don't do anything, then you can see it. You can see the guy doesn't have any results. You can see that the guy's not mentally strong. You can see that the guy doesn't eat healthy. You can see that the guy's not doing anything. So at the moments that you do everything, where it's just you, when it's you on your own, what do you do? What do you choose to do? That's what will shape you. And then the friends as well. That's what helps. That's what helps shape you and massively shapes you. But believe me, what you do when it's just you and yourself is what will determine who you become, what you can do, what you can bring to the table. And it can be a wee tiny table, or it can be a big ass table, which it really doesn't fucking matter. It's who's sitting in the seat.